So let's get into mastering the 3 different offers that we can give to every seller finance in any seller finance transaction. So this is best used when the home is free and clear. Now, being said, we can still offer seller finance when it has an underlying mortgage, but then that's seller finance / subject to. Right now, we're only going to cover what seller finance transactions are on free and clear properties. So let's get into the 3 different ways we can offer them money. It's going to be principal reduction, principal and interest, and then interest only. These are all different. So principal reduction is when the seller is financing you the remaining amount without an interest rate attached to it. So for example, if I'm going to give you $50,000 at $500 a month, I will pay you in 100 months. Very simple, very straightforward. If I owe you $100 and I'm paying you $10 a day, I will pay you for the next 10 days. Now, at the end of the transaction, you will have no underlying mortgage, which is the beauty of a principal reduction offer. Anytime you can put a principal reduction offer in place, please put it in place because they are literally giving you free money. Now, principal and interest. This is similar to the principal reduction as far as the terms of the finance amount. Principal and interest. Now, this is similar to a principal reduction in terms of financed amount and payment. The only difference is that they're going to want an interest rate in the principal amount. So, for example, we're going to get into it right now, but there's always 2 things that you can control. It's either going to be payment or term, right? So you can control price or you can control term. So let's get into an example where you offer 5% interest on the same $50,000. So it's the same $50,000 that we can pay $500 a month for 100 months. But let's say they want a 5% interest. So how is it going to look? So let's get into an example. And I put here, we're looking for the payment on the 10B2 calculator. In the beginning, there's a 10B2 calculator video, so go watch that one. But N is going to be 60, IY, so I/YR, so the number of months is 60, the interest rate's 5%, present value 50,000, payment is the unknown in this one, and then the future value is going to be 0 because on a mortgage, future value is always 0. So if we do it this way and then we solve for payment, we can see that we have to pay them $943 a month for the next 60 months to obtain the 5% interest on the 50,000. That's one way of doing it. Now, let's do it in a different scenario where we have all the same factors except we don't have the month. Remember, we can control term length, which is the number of months, or we can control payment, which is, of course, the payment. So this one on top is them controlling the term length. This one on bottom is us controlling the payment. So if we control the payment of $500 a month at a present value of $50,000 at a 5% interest rate, then we have to pay them for the next 129 months, 0.63. But for the next 129 months, we're going to pay them $500 a month. Huge difference. So when you look at both of these, okay, if I pay you in the next 60 months, I have to pay $943. And if I pay you $500, I can pay you in the next 129. So super important. Very, very different transactions. And the way that I would actually personally do this is you always want to control price or terms, but it is essential to know how much money you're going to make on the back end in order to know how much you can offer the seller. If you don't know how much you're going to make on the back end, please don't be offering these terms because you want to make sure that you're cash flow positive or cash positive when you're doing these deals. What you're going to make on the back end is going to determine the route that you're going, whether it be the term length or the payment amount that you're going to control. So always control either price or terms in any situation. I know I said it a lot, but it is very, very important that you always control either the price or the terms. Now, let's get into an interest-only example. So what interest-only is this is where you're offering the seller a monthly payment, interest-only, for a set period of time. The selling point on this deal is that you're going to be giving monthly payments for the set amount and for the same amount of time, but you're not going to be reducing the principal amount. So super important if they want 12%, right? So let's get to an example where they want 12% interest and you'll be paying that for the next 18 months. This cannot be used with the 10B2 calculator, and if it is, I haven't found it yet, but financed amount $50,000, interest rate 12%, payment unknown, balloon 18 months. If you were to put this on a 10B2 calculator, it will probably give you an unknown or an extremely high number as far as on the payment. So the way I calculate interest-only payments is $50,000 times 0.12, which is 12%, equals $6,000. So $6,000 is 12% interest of $50,000. $6,000 divided by 12 is a $500 a month payment. $500 a month payment times 18 months, which is the total length that they wanted, is $9,000 in total interest. $50,000 plus $9,000 equals $59,000 total net to seller. If you notice, the very last sentence. Now, knowing these three is a powerful tool to learn how to give them the illusion of choice. It doesn't matter whether they take the principal reduction with interest, or interest only. It truly doesn't matter, because over here, at a 12% rate, I'm giving you $500 a month. Up here, for 129 months, I'm giving you $500 a month. Over here, for 129 months, or for 100 months, I'm giving you $500 a month. In every single scenario, in every single transaction, it does not affect us in the form of cash flow, because we are always controlling the payment. Since we are controlling the payment, we let them control the terms. And by them controlling the terms, it truly doesn't affect you, so it really doesn't matter. So when I say you can truly offer the illusion of choice, now knowing these three powerful tools lets us give them the illusion of choice. I really mean it, because they are thinking that they're making the decision and they are somehow screwing you over. They're somehow getting one over on you, but they're not. You let them think that they're winning, but at the end of the day, it's the exact same thing for you. We didn't get into the resale, but at the end of the day, the resale is always going to be pretty much the same. But then you're telling me, wait, how can my principal and interest reduction offer be the exact same as my interest only offer and the exact same as my principal reduction offer? This is the way, right? If we can control the $500 a month, we let them decide how they want to get paid $500. If you want $500 interest only, great, I'll pay you for the next 18 months and then I'll balloon you out. If you want $500 a month at a 5% interest, great, I can't give you the $943 a month. What I can do is I can pay you $500 for the next 129 months. If you want and can get it as a principal reduction, great, I'll pay you $500 for the next 100 months. How does that sound? You see, it really doesn't matter which one they choose, because we want them to take whichever one they want. Any one that you want to choose, you can tell your seller, or you can think in the back of your head, any one that my seller wants to choose, it doesn't affect me at all. So let's get into that mindset. And every time we're structuring deals, seller finance is probably the strongest tool when you can use it right, because you can always create a win-win situation. Create as many win-win situations as possible. So depending on what they take, which it really doesn't matter to you, will depend on how you sell it. So I guess it kind of does matter in the form of how you're going to resell it, because if they take an interest only, I would probably fix and flip it, or I'd probably put it on the market to get out and just cash them out, because you do have a balloon coming up. But other than that, it's kind of like you let them win in the illusion of choice, and you walk home happy, they walk home happy, and then you have a price that you wanted, that you negotiated, but you let them think that they negotiated. So I hope this tool is very powerful. Go through it again, figure out how I got it, figure out how I got the interest payment of $500 a month, and how I made every single offer look exactly the same. The faster you can do this with any deal that you're going through, the more you're going to be putting under contract.